The ambassador of the Galactic Council shifted uncomfortably in his environmental suit. Even through multiple layers of protection, Earth felt oppressive. The gravity pulled at his limbs, the atmospheric pressure squeezed his thorax, and the oxygen levels, while carefully filtered, still seemed excessive for his respiratory system. "Are you certain these conditions are habitable?" Ambassador Trell asked, his translator converting his chittering language into smooth English. "Captain," Davis smiled, adjusting her uniform collar. "Quite habitable for us, I'm afraid. We did warn you in our preliminary reports that humans evolved on what you might classify as a death world. The delegation from the Galactic Council had arrived 3 days ago, establishing orbit around Earth with their impressive vessels that dwarfed anything humanity had yet constructed. First contact had gone surprisingly well. No invasions, no misunderstandings resulting in warfare. Just a polite message requesting diplomatic relations with the newly discovered sapient species of Sol 3. What the aliens hadn't expected was Earth itself. Your preliminary reports, Trell's second-in-command Officer Krim interjected, failed to convey the extremity of your homeworld. The tall, willowy alien's environment suit was even more robust than the ambassador's, with additional supports around joints that weren't designed for Earth's crushing 1G gravity. Davis led them through the carefully prepared reception facility in Geneva. I believe that's why our first official document was titled Apologies in Advance. The truth was, humanity had been surprised to discover they were outliers. When human scientists first decoded the galactic standard measurement systems, they'd been shocked. The average council world had approximately 0.7 G gravity, oxygen levels of 15%, atmospheric pressure 30% lower than Earth's, and temperatures that rarely ventured beyond what humans would consider mild spring weather. Earth, by comparison, was a nightmare planet to most galactic species. "We've prepared this entire facility to galactic standard conditions," Davis explained, gesturing to a sealed doorway ahead. "Through here you'll find gravity generators reducing pull to 0.7 G, atmospheric composition matching council standards, and temperature stabilized at 19 degrees Celsius. Ambassador Trell's posture immediately relaxed. "Most considerate, though I confess curiosity about how your species functions in natural conditions. You'll have that opportunity shortly. Our diplomatic team will meet you inside the adapted chambers, but first I thought you might appreciate viewing one of our training demonstrations." Davis guided them to an observation window overlooking an outdoor field. Below, human soldiers ran obstacle courses carrying heavy packs, climbing walls, and navigating through what appeared to be deliberately challenging terrain. Some pulled weights that the aliens estimated must be nearly their own body mass. "They do this voluntarily?" Officer Krim asked, his voice modulator conveying astonishment. "For recreation sometimes," Davis answered with a slight smile. "Those are standard military fitness exercises. Nothing particularly strenuous by our standards." Ambassador Trell's visual receptors dilated. "When your species applied for council membership, some questioned whether a Deathworld species could integrate peacefully with galactic society. I begin to understand their concerns." Davis paused, turning to face the delegation directly. "Ambassador, I want to address this directly. Yes, humans evolved on what you classify as a Class 4 death world. Our biology reflects that. Dense muscle, tissue, robust skeletal structure, enhanced damage repair systems, and aggressive immune responses. Physically, we're built differently than most council species." "Your point, Captain?" Trell asked. "My point is that the same evolutionary pressures that made us physically resilient also shaped our culture. We had to cooperate to survive. Our strongest instinct isn't dominance, it's protection. Community. Finding ways to thrive together against harsh conditions." The delegation moved through the airlock into the adapted chambers, and Davis watched as the aliens visibly relaxed once the crushing gravity and atmospheric conditions were alleviated. Inside waited the human diplomatic team, headed by Director Tom Powell, a veteran diplomat with salt and pepper hair and a reassuring smile. "Welcome to Earth," Powell said, bowing slightly instead of offering a handshake. Another consideration for the aliens' different anatomies. I hope Captain Davis has been taking good care of you. Indeed, Ambassador Trell replied. Though, I admit we find your world daunting, Powell nodded. As we expected. That's why we've prepared comprehensive data packages on human physiology, psychology, and societal structures. We want to be transparent about who and what we are. He gestured to holographic displays activating around the room, showing human civilization, everything from children playing in parks to advanced manufacturing facilities. What we hope to convey is that while we evolved in harsh conditions, those conditions taught us resilience, adaptability, and cooperation. Humanity would be honored to join the Galactic Council not as conquerors or threats, but as protectors and problem solvers. Ambassador Trell studied the images carefully. Your species thrives in conditions that would kill most council races, within hours. Your strength, endurance, and tolerance for environmental extremes exceed galactic norms by significant margins. All true, Powell acknowledged, which is exactly why we submitted our application with the apology. We understand how we might appear to the Council. Krim, who had been analyzing data on a portable device, looked up. According to these cultural archives, humans have an extensive history of internal conflicts. Powell didn't deny it. Also true. We've fought wars against ourselves, made terrible mistakes, and caused great suffering. But we've learned from that history. And perhaps most importantly, we've never encountered a challenge we didn't eventually overcome together. Ambassador Trell was silent for a long moment. The Council has never admitted a Deathworld species before. Then perhaps it's time, Davis suggested from the doorway. Because while Earth might be a Deathworld to you, Ambassador, to us it's simply home. And we've learned to build beautiful things here despite the challenges, or perhaps because of them. Powell smiled. Besides, every diplomatic team needs someone who can open the tough jars. For the first time since their arrival, Ambassador Trell made a sound that the translators identified as laughter. Captain Davis, Director Powell, I believe the Council has much to learn from humanity. And yes, we accept your apology in advance.